It's a pleasure to be joined again by Brian Larkin, CEO of United Oil and Gas. United have recently made significant progress on technical de-risking work and have just published an independent risking review relating to the Walter Morant prospective 7 billion barrel opportunity in Jamaica. Thanks for joining me, Brian.
Thanks, Darren. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, Brian, so it's been a while since we last spoke. I saw you did a short video update from Jamaica whilst on your travels to the Image conference. I guess let's start with the big one. How are the farm out discussions going?
Well, thanks, Darren. It's great to be back in Dublin. But you're right. It's been a very busy summer. I was in Jamaica meeting with the environmental agencies, the fisheries, the investment community, really making sure that everyone is fully aligned and engaged in the project.
Hmm.
Then it was straight to Houston for the Image Conference, which is one of the best events for exploration. It's where the whole industry, majors, independents, scouts, all gather in one place. In terms of the second part of your question on the farm out, the data room remains very much active and alive. Our technical team is in dialogue with interested technical teams, and the Houston event gives you the chance to sit down face to face with both the business development and technical groups of the companies that we've been talking to. And that's critical because a lot of this is about helping people see what we see, why the geology works, why the risk profile is improving, and why the license deserves attention. I guess you could say, and sometimes we use the analogy in the office here, sometimes it's a bit like selling a house. You don't just hand over the keys. You walk people through the rooms, you show them where the light comes in, you show them the value,
Hmm.
why you think it's so fantastic. And that's what we're doing with what Morant. We're taking prospective partners through the detail so they understand why we're so excited about it. And what Morant is a big, big house. There's a lot of detail and it takes time. And particular parties have a lot of people who need to do their due diligence and need to come back again and again. But we're getting through that and feeling really positive about things we're at the moment. My final point to your question, I guess, is that we're under strict NDA, so we can't say much more than what I've said. But in the meantime, we haven't been sitting still. We've been working on other aspects of operational readiness for the asset, particularly permitting, and the just published risking report, which you may have seen.
Yes, yes. I mean, you mentioned there the receiving the environmental permit and the beach license. How important are these in terms of de-risking the project to now and supporting overall discussions in the data room?
Well, look, they're hugely important. Without the permits, you're kind of stuck on the runway. With the permits, you're cleared for takeoff. The environmental permit gives us the green light for the offshore surveys, and the beach license is the final piece that we needed, and that allows us to physically collect the seabed samples. Now, this is not just admin, it's really what moves a license from paper to practice. So, for farmer partners, it shows the pathway forward to operations are real, it's fully permitted, and that's important. That makes a big difference when they're weighing up whether to commit or not.
Hmm.
Partners like certainty, and the permits give them that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And you just mentioned there the news out today on the independent risking study confirming de-risking of the project and the potential from geochemical work at Walter Morant. What's the significance of this report?
Well, look, that's a real game changer that we've announced this week, and it is a game changer. It's the culmination of a lot of internal work by my own team, and I'd encourage all of your followers and our shareholders to take a read of the report, particularly page 9 of the report,
Hmm.
which is now available on our website, and that outlines the vast amount of internal work completed on the license by my team over the last few years. But the key points to take away from the report are this. At Calibri, the geological chance of success could rise from 19% to 32% with piston coring. In frontier exploration, that is a massive shift.
I was about to say
That's
that's a huge uplift, isn't it, in exploration terms?
absolutely, it's like going from a long shot to close to a 3-1. And
Yeah.
our other target, not just Calibri, but Oriel, that shows a similar uplift. And the real point is this: if piston coring confirms thermogenic hydrocarbons, you've
Mm,
effectively proved that the petroleum system is working. And that's not just Calibri or Oriel. That de-risks the entire basin. And it's like backing a 20-1 outsider and suddenly find the odds have shortened to 3-1. And that changes how everybody looks at the race.
mm. Absolutely. That sounds like a significant uplift. Okay, right. Well, we'll we'll look forward to well that piston coring program coming along, I guess, in the near future. Um, we discussed earlier. You spent some time recently in Jamaica and Houston over the pond. Can you tell us why those visits were important? Were you rubbing shoulders with any of the big boys out there at all? And what was the vibe like, and what did you actually get out of the visits?
Yeah, of course. Well, firstly, starting with the visits themselves, Jamaica was really about demonstrating the momentum on the ground. As I mentioned, we met with the fisheries, the environmental groups, and importantly, we also met with the investment community, and they're fully behind what we're trying to do. And that kind of support matters when you're looking to move a project from permits to operations,
Mm,
and really when you want the rubber to hit the road. Houston at the Image Conference, well, that was very different. That's more about visibility. It's where the industry decision makers gather. You get the chance to sit down directly with technical teams, business development teams from the companies that are already in the data room. And those face-to-face sessions really help accelerate due diligence. You
mm.
also build a rapport with these people as well. It helps add to the rapport. And it
I was about
also
to say,
lets
is
you,
that an extension? Is that, sorry to interrupt you, but is that an extension of the data room? Essentially, you've got, or I suppose the data room's actually virtual, isn't it? But it's actually you getting a chance to actually, speak to people in person.
yeah, the data room is virtual, but you can't beat face to face with people
Mm,
and building a relationship with them, building a rapport with them, and it's about trust as well, and building trust and establishing trust. And those face to face sessions is the only way you do it, and
yeah,
it gives us the opportunity to answer their questions in real time. We also met with some new parties who are starting to take a serious look at Jamaica as well, which is encouraging. And as you've said, the big boys were there. Yes, we rub shoulders with the big boys. I think our shareholders would expect that of us. We've
yeah.
always punched above our weight in terms of our size, and we've also always tapped into our black book of contacts. And you get everybody, from the big guys to the smaller guys under one roof at that conference in Houston. And I guess you could say in summary that, Jamaica, the trip to Jamaica was about tightening the bolts, making sure everything was in order to move forward.
Mm,
And Image was more about showing the project off under the bright lights and the progress we're making to date. And the license really, really stood out.
okay. All right. Well, changing tack slightly, you also recently announced an options reward scheme. I think something like a 300% premium to the last raise.
Mhm.
And this was well received by the market. The shares have moved up a bit since. Can you tell us more about this?
Absolutely. Sometimes these structures can be quite complicated and difficult for shareholders to digest. So we've basically changed the scheme and we've tried to put a structure in place that's relatively straightforward. We've tried to make it simple so everybody could understand it easily. Essentially, the options are struck at the last placing price of 0.18, but they can't be exercised unless the share price trebles to 0.54. So that's a 300% hurdle. The vesting period is a year, but the important part here is that there's no benefit to management directors or any contributors unless we first deliver that level of value for shareholders. And
Mm,
what that really means is that if the hurdle is cleared, the share price will have already undergone a major re-rate. And that's the kind of performance that we're focused on delivering. And we believe the technical and commercial progress we're making puts us in a position to achieve that and much more.
mm,
And that's what the market should be really focused on and paying attention to.
yeah. Okay. Well, it's obviously been a busy period for United. We've had seen quite a few news items out, and you're making significant technical progress. What should new and existing shareholders look out for next?
Well, more technical de-risking, we never stop doing that. Further progress on permitting and operations in particular, and continued farmer engagement. The independent review has already sharpened the case for Walton Morant.
Mm,
It demonstrates the uplift in geological chance of success and validates the basin's potential. With the permits now in place, the license is positioned better than ever before. The goal here has always been very straightforward. Is to bring a partner across the line and drill,
mm,
ideally not just one well, but a program that can properly test multiple prospects. And that's how you unlock the full scale of the value of Wat Morant. Now, alongside today's announcement of the de-risking study, we've also been engaging with the broking teams, analysts, and I expect to see some broker coverage on the back of the de-risking report in the coming week. Broker coverage is important for shareholders, particularly because it translates potential value of the project into our shareholders' pockets.
mm.
And one more thing in terms of, what should shareholders be looking forward to. We are looking at the makeup of the board, and I hope to make some announcements on that shortly as things progress.
Okay. All right. Well, what would your final word be for shareholders looking at United opportunity now, Brian? Given you're currently capped at just £4 million with yet a huge potential frontier exploration prospect that I think is probably unrivaled in terms of size and scale on the London market.
Well, look, I totally agree with you. The opportunity is unique. In the immediate term, as in the coming days and weeks, I am expecting a significant strengthening of the share price based on the risking report that we've announced. I mean, that in itself is a value trigger of substance. And the broking note, I think, in the next week or so will demonstrate what that could mean to shareholders in terms of the potential value of their investment. I'm
Mm,
excited about that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that's digested by the market. And I am expecting a significant uplift in our share price on the back of that. I guess Walton Morant it's a rare combination, as you say. It's a billion barrel scale project,
mm,
taking tangible de-risking steps. We're genuinely engaged with potential partners. And our focus really is to keep the license moving forward, technically, commercially, and strategically, so that momentum converts into delivery and converts into value for our shareholders. And I guess, finally, just kind of look out for further news and engagement. There's a lot happening right now, and we are absolutely determined to make it count.
okay. Well, great stuff, Brian. Thanks for joining us again, and thanks for the update. And look forward to chatting to you again in the near future.
Always a pleasure, Darren.